In SQL, a join clause combines columns from one or more tables, allowing us to retrieve data stored in different tables by using values common to each. Unlike some distributed databases, CrateDB fully supports joins. In this video, you'll see how to join data from our Chicago taxis and taxi rides tables. Let's get started. Here's the schema for our taxis table. This table contains details about the vehicles comprising Chicago's taxi fleet, for example, the make, model, and color of each one. Each vehicle is assigned a unique vehicle ID. And here's the schema for our taxi rides table. This table holds details of each taxi ride taken in April 2024. The vehicle ID in this table refers to the vehicle that performed the ride. If we know the vehicle ID for a ride, we can find the details of the taxi that performed the ride in the taxis table. And we can use a vehicle ID from the taxis table to query the taxi rides table. This query retrieves some of the details for Kia Soul taxis. There are 8 of these vehicles in Chicago's taxi fleet. Using the vehicle ID of one of these taxis, we can see the details of the rides performed by that vehicle. What if we wanted to show details from the taxis table in the results set for this sort of query? This is where we need to use a join. This query retrieves the start time of the most recent taxi ride performed by each of our Kia Soul taxis. We want to retrieve the vehicle ID, make, model, and latest start time for each. The data is spread over 2 tables.